Hi folks, I'm Will Bridges from 123 Trade. In this video, we are going to be talking about a Forex forecast, a little bit of a preview for the Federal Open Market Committee. On Wednesday, the U.S. Federal Reserve is actually going to be letting the rest of the world understand a little bit more about what their plans are for raising interest rates. If you guys haven't been paying attention, inflation, we've got a video for that came out recently. Has been higher than it's been since 2008, which is not typically a year that we like to compare to. So going to be lots of good information in here. I'm going to show a few different sources. We're also going to look at some live charting data. If you want to see more content like this, you want to support us, then press the thumbs up button. And hey, if you don't like the video later, you can uncheck it. No one will judge you. But if you would like to see more of this stuff, it is going to be time sensitive, so subscribe, ring the bell. We'll get all that stuff out of the way. I'm done asking you guys for your support. Let's go ahead and get into the cool stuff. Do have to show you, risk disclaimer, everything in this video will be for educational purpose. You do have to risk it to get the biscuit, folks. So let's go ahead and look at the economic calendar here first. And you know, the thing to pay attention to when it comes to the calendar, I like to look at the high impact announcements. You can look at every announcement that comes out. I've had scoring systems I've used over the years that I used every single one of them, half of them, specific ones, all sorts of them. Really what I like to do is look at the forecast information and figure out what people think might happen. You know, that whole, buy the rumor, sell the news, because typically, the market is going to know that all this purchasing happened before the announcement happens to tell everybody that this purchasing happened. So that being said, I don't know if that was confusing or not. But the point is that a lot of the movement that happens in association with these announcements is already baked in. A lot of the, whatever actually happens, that's already baked into what the market has been doing. So, if we come down here and we take a look at the high impact announcements for this week, U.S. has lots of big ones, retail sales, some inflation numbers. That's what this PPI number is. The biggest announcement of this week, this is going to be the FOMC economic projections. So the Federal Open Market Committee, that's who they are. They're going to come out and they're going to talk about what they anticipate to happen for the next year, maybe longer, when they're going to raise the interest rate here in the United States. That is a big deal. So that's going to have massive impact on the valuation of stocks. That's going to have massive impact on the value of the government's debt. If they raise the interest rate with the Federal Reserve, all of our debt just gets more expensive. So lots of impact in a lot of areas that they're not going to talk about all of on the news or even close. New Zealand is also looking at an increase in quarter-over-quarter GDP, which is positive. So there could be, if we end up coming out and saying that the U.S. isn't going to raise interest rates for another year and a half, which is basically what Jerome Powell has been saying, then there could be some strong move on that NZD USD. That might be one to watch. Same thing goes for the Aussie USD. It looks like they're looking to have 30,000 jobs added. They might be coming a little bit more out of the lockdown scene, still getting supported with iron ore purchasing from China. So, hey, maybe a little bit of action available there. Let's go take a look at a chart, okay? And let's actually clear everything we got here. And let's just get straight over. Let's look at that Aussie USD. Let's take a look at the Aussie USD. And, very interesting last couple of years or so for the Aussie USD. We saw some 17-year lows down here recently. That's what this price is. That's a 17-year low. So big product of, little lockdowns that have occurred, all that happy fun stuff that we called 2020. And those days are not yet over. Obviously, people still talking about COVID. Otherwise, I won't be mentioning it in this video. But this market has been bullish for quite some time since it hit that 17-year low. And we've got an inner trend line here as well. This is really what we've got in that regard. But moving towards our upper outer trend line here, which fairly common in this scenario. A lot of people, traders have been getting faked out on this one for quite a few months. A lot of people have been trying to call the top on this Aussie USD for a long time, but we still haven't tested this trend line. So yes, the market did come down to much lower prices. Is it done? I don't know. There's no way to know for sure. We do have an interesting pattern that's coming up here. We do have what looks like a little bit of a pennant. And we're coming towards decision day here in the next couple of days. This thing could really go a long way in either direction. It depends on if the government wants to manipulate or not. I like to think that they're going to avoid manipulating. So really what I'm anticipating is a 1, 2, 3, something like that. And that could mean another big bull move. The trend is the trend until it's not. Traders, like I said, have been getting faked out on this for the entire year. I'll just show you where. Okay, so a lot of people got faked out there. People were expecting 600, 700 pip moves when that trend line broke. And then this one happened right after that, and that didn't really work out in the change of trend. And then that one happened, and then we got an up move, and now this is where we sit now. Same kind of scenario. This really could be our new uptrend sometime in the next couple of days if this thing takes off. But end of the day, we're going to find out on Wednesday, 2 o'clock. Should be lots of good action in the market this week. We've got lots of predictions going on right now. So far this year, just to give everybody an idea, I think we are up somewhere around 1,400 pips on our CAD prediction. We're looking for a total of 3,000. But as it stands, we're still at 1,400, so 1,600 pips to go. And we are going to be sharing all those positions, entries, exits, all that type of stuff, where we think might be a good idea on Friday in our client-only presentations. But again, I'm Will Bridges. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We're going to be looking at a lot more dollar pairs on Friday, as well as the pound. I'm very hot on the pound as well, because I think both of those currencies are going to have massive moves because, well, Brexit happened earlier this year, for those of you guys that have been following that for the last, what feels like a decade. But we're also going to have lots of videos on Bitcoin, oil, precious metals, you name it. Okay, they're all of them on our website as well, so visit 123trade.com. We're an introducing broker service, so if you do need help getting Forex brokerage, CFD brokerage, send us an email to brokers@123trade.com. But thanks for joining, folks. I'm Will Bridges. You guys have a great rest of your day, and be good or be good at it. Take care.